Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope that you have been liking the videos which I have uploaded previously covering the various aspects of the Indian automotive industry, and today's video is just going to be about that. So I do hope that you have liked the previous videos and do keep supporting the new videos which keep on coming onto my channel. So without any further ado, let's get into today's topic. Today's topic is a uh, pretty much based on a trend which has been occurring in the past 5 to 6 years, not just in the Indian markets but even in the global car markets, which is why are SUVs selling more. This has been a pretty quick shift as well, especially in terms of consumers, because it was not long ago that pretty much the usual sedans and even hatchbacks used to dominate the sales, and that is not just with standing for India but for other automotive markets too. But in the last 5 6 years, this concept has completely been changed as SUVs have taken over the market and are currently ruling the market in terms of their cumulative sales. If we look at the statistical figures and the brands which have strong SUV offerings, you can clearly see the market share gains which they have made in the last 5 to 6 years too. So let's get into a point by point breakdown covering this reasons as such behind why SUVs are selling more, not just in the Indian automotive market but across the world, because these reasons do stand for any market as such. So, one of the first reasons is the SUV style. Now, most of the people who are interested in cars genuinely do like the styling bits which SUVs offer. And it's pretty obvious because SUVs, they have a unique way as such, a unique styling as such, unique way of presenting themselves. An often commonly used term to describe the car's looks is stance. And SUVs typically have a very aggressive stance, which appeals to a lot of buyers, and that is across markets again, because it gives them a sense of authority, a sense of power, and that really has made a big impact on the sales of SUVs too. And again, this gives them an impression of them dominating the roads, dominating and being the ruler of the roads, making sure that other cars move aside from them when they are going ahead on the road. So this is really a differentiating factor, and this has really proven to be one of the more psychological factors which has really played into SUVs growing sales as such. And this can also be seen filtering down to the smaller cars as such. We are typically seeing crossover cars coming up as well, which feature SUV styling bits but are not necessarily SUVs. And they are commonly referred to as pseudo SUVs too. We are constantly seeing that there are hatchbacks which also have plastic cladding in front and the rear of the cars, or they have some kind of off-road modes which are being thrown in. So this really adds to the appeal as such of SUVs. Even if you are not buying a SUV, you feel like you are buying a SUV as such or driving one as such. And this can really be seen filtering down in the market, and it is happening more and more. This has been seen in the lowest end of the market, where you see cars like Quid, which again has that tall boy stance as such, and also has SUV styling bits like the plastic cladding in the front, like a climber edition, which is again a really unique offering, to be very honest as such, and has not been offered by any other car maker in that segment. And there are other cars like the Ignis, like the newly introduced Tata Punch, which is just going to launch in the Indian market. Again, those are all cars which have been inspired by the bigger SUVs which these companies offer. And these are again cars still sell in huge numbers and ultimately appeal to the buyer's demands of getting an SUV or a SUV like car at a lower price point. And that is simply a result of that. And this is a general trend as such behind why SUV as a concept is selling more, not just in India but across the world. Now, of course, there are other practical benefits too, and I think that is the second key point here. Practical benefits like greater visibility. Whenever you are driving a SUV, you can view everything around you. And it is really easy to command your car to drive it very easily, and you can drive it very easily as such. And that allows you to enjoy your driving and at the same time feel the ruler of the roads as such. Moreover, in the category of practical benefits have other benefits like more storage space. So you can have more bits and bobs thrown into your cars as such. You can have more bottles, more luggage cases. So that really acts as that practical machine too, which you can literally take anywhere, because that's the benefit of an SUV. So that is one of the benefits, which again appeals to a lot many buyers, especially of bigger families. So they do prefer to buy to go ahead with an SUV. Then there is another benefit, which is better space for passengers. That again has been a big selling point for these SUVs in the market, because previously it was the sedans who were there because there was no competition from SUVs at those price points. But now when SUVs have finally reached that point, at that price point, or even pseudo SUVs, you really get that sense of bigger space. You really get that greater visibility, that greater comfort as such when you are in an SUV compared to a sedan, because the structure of that car, it is made for giving you greater space, and that really allows for it to appeal to customers who especially prefer comfort and are even chauffeur driven. So that really appeals to the consumer sentiments, and that is why again SUVs have been selling in great numbers across markets. And finally, one of the key points which I think everybody needs to consider is that they are better safety structures. In an unfortunate event, if you do get into a crash or an accident, an SUV generally will be better for you compared to a sedan or a hatchback. The fact is that SUVs are simply much more safer compared to hatchbacks or sedans, just due to their shape, to their size, due to their structure. Now, of course, safety ratings will vary according to manufacturers, and there is a slight difference there, but as a body shell, as a structure itself, SUVs are certainly more safer on the roads. And that is true for any type of a crash, whether it is high speed or the last point which I would like to address here is, then this point is often overlooked by many of the analysts too, which is the monetary aspects regarding an SUV. The fact is that over the last few years, SUVs have gotten significantly cheaper and accessible to a broader consumer base. Right, and that is either through SUVs themselves coming down in prices and the introduction of, as I said, pseudo SUVs, which are currently the compact SUVs which are being sold, or crossover cars which are being sold, which have a mixture of your normal hatchback but at the same time SUV styling. And these are really popular with the customers, and because of that, more and more manufacturers are entering a segment like this, and ultimately the prices are being brought down, which is ultimately the best thing for us consumers, because we are getting more options, and at the same time those options are at a lower price. And that really enforces that this market has become super competitive, but at the same time a great place for consumers to engage in and actually buy the car from, because you are really going to get the best of what the manufacturer is going to offer to you, as this is the segment which is truly having cars being sold, and this is truly having cars which are sold like hotcakes as such, and they are really empowering these businesses in terms of their business finances too. A majority of the revenue contributions are coming from SUVs, so due to high profit margins being also there in these cars too. So that again needs to be considered. And more than that, I would also like to address one more point, which is the resale value. The fact is that especially in a market like India, you will often see cars which are considered as SUVs or crossovers. They are actually selling in they are actually holding more of their value after a 3-year or a 5-year period of ownership, and that again is prompting many more consumers to actually go in for an SUV, because they really know that when I want to sell this car down 5 years or 7 years down the line, I will be able to get a greater resale value for it compared to for example a performance hatchback which I might buy, or a premium sedan which I might buy at that price point. And that really is again enforcing the sales of SUVs to skyrocket, and this is true not just for the primary market where new cars are sold, but also in the secondary market where second-hand cars are sold. In a nutshell, the main three reasons behind why SUVs are selling more globally is that first of all, they are offering a greater styling benefits, a greater visual appeal to the consumers as such. The second reason is practical benefits like better comfort, like better space, and also greater visibility for the drivers. And the third being monetary aspects, where SUVs have gotten cheaper and they are holding more of their resale values too. And I would say these three are the main reasons which has been prompting the sales of SUVs to skyrocket, especially in the last 5 to 6 years across all markets. So anyways guys, I hope that you did like this video and the aspects which I have covered about why SUVs as a general concept as such are selling more globally and especially in India. So I hope that you do like this video, and maybe in the comments you can let me know why you would prefer SUVs too. So I would love to hear those comments too. And yeah, please do keep supporting the channel, and I will see you guys next time around in another video related to cars or finance. Thank you so much.